Hello, my name is Taylor Monroe, and I will be giving an informative speech today about the history of the flag of the United States of America. Now, I'm giving this speech because a lot of people don't know the significance or the background of the flag that represents our own nation, so that's why I'm here to inform you today. This has a relation to the audience because the flag represents everybody that is a U.S. citizen, and everybody in this class, I believe, is a U.S. citizen, so it does have some significance to everybody. The central idea for this speech is just to inform you and educate you about the flag, what the stars and stripes represent, what the colors represent, and how the flag came about. The main points we're going to talk about are the origins, the inspiration surrounding the flag, and how to display the flag, because believe it or not, there is a certain way to display the flag, whether it be on a wall or a window or in front of a building or on a building. So the original U.S. flag is believed to be designed by New Jersey Congressman Francis Hopkinson and then designed by Betsy Ross, and that would have been in the late 1700s following the Revolutionary War. Now, according to usflag.org, on June 14, 1777, in order to establish an official flag for the new United States of America, the Continental Congress passed the first Flag Act, and that was resolved that the flag of the U.S. be made of 13 stripes, alternate red and white, and that the Union be 13 stars, white in a blue field representing a new constellation. And that, again, is from usflag.org. So what do the colors of the flag represent? That's something I've always actually been curious about and didn't know until I began my research. So the color red for the flag represents hardiness and valor. And white represents purity and innocence. And blue represents perseverance, vigilance, and justice. Beautiful colors with beautiful meanings. Now, the original flag was coined, the phrase Old Glory, by a Massachusetts boat captain by the name of William Driver. Now, this flag that was coined the Old Glory is significant, and that is because William Driver's coined phrase of Old Glory was a U.S. flag that survived the British bombardment of 1819. Now, according to usflag.org, it states that the Act of April 4th, 1818, allowed for the flag of the United States to have 13 stripes and 1 star per state following admission of each new state. And that was actually signed by President James Monroe, who is actually a direct ancestor of mine, so pretty interesting. Now, preceding that act, there were 3 executive orders that were given by 2 different presidents, William Taft, and 2 executive orders by Dwight D. Eisenhower to change the layout of the flag. William Taft wanted the flag to have 6 rows of 8 stars each, and multiply that out, that's 48, and that's because during Taft's presidency, there were 48 states. And Dwight D. Eisenhower changed the layout of the flag twice in 1 year, and that was in 1959. And in January, he wanted 7 rows of 7 stars, and then 6 months later, he called for 9 rows of staggered stars horizontally, and 11 rows of stars staggered vertically. Now, the second point I wanted to get to was inspiration. There's a lot of inspiration behind the flag of the United States. This is according to PBS.org. After a British bombardment, poet Francis Scott Key was so inspired by the sight of the U.S. flag still flying over Baltimore's Fort McHenry that he wrote the Star-Spangled Banner on September 14, 1814, and that later became our national anthem in 1931. So quite a bit of inspiration that flag still flying over Fort McHenry during the British bombardment led to our national anthem. So if you're ever wondering where that originated from, there it is. In 1892, the flag inspired two individuals to write the Pledge of Allegiance, and those gentlemen were James Upham and Francis Bellamy. The first flag overseas was in 1805, and that was in Libya, and that was actually one of the first United States Navy missions was to Tripoli, Libya, and that was at Fort Derna. After they took that fort over, that was the first American flag ever planted on foreign soil. Now, the first U.S. flag planted in the North Pole was by Robert Peary in 1909. Pretty interesting fact there. In 1963, Barry Bishop planted the first U.S. flag at the top of Mount Everest, and he was actually one of the first expeditionaries to climb Mount Everest, and he was the first to put a U.S. flag up there. And in 1969, of course, probably the most recognizable moment in history where a flag was waving was on the moon, planted by Neil Armstrong on the Apollo mission. Now, the third point I wanted to make is actually the most interesting, probably, and that is about how to display the American flag, whether it's on the wall, in front of a window, or if it is on or in front of a public building. So, during holidays, the U.S. flag is supposed to be flying near the main administration building in each city, and at polling places during elections, and of course at the top of all schoolhouses across the United States, whether they be public or private. When a flag is put on a wall or in front of a window, it has to be either vertically or horizontally, but when you're looking at the flag, the stars have to be on the top left corner. So kind of interesting that there's a certain way to hang the flag even on the wall. Now, when the flag is raised during any occasion, it's supposed to be raised quickly in a brisk manner. However, when the flag is taken down, it's much slower and is referred to as ceremonially. And whenever a flag passes by in a parade, everybody except for men and women in uniform are actually required to put their right hand over their heart as the flag passes, as a kind of a gesture of honor towards our country and those who have served. And one of the last things I have to say is the flag, interestingly enough, when it is hung up, it is not supposed to dip downward towards a person or another object. So if it is kind of slanted when it's hung up, it can't be touching anything and it can't be close to anything. It has to be kind of in a free little area. So in summary, I hope you learned a little bit about the United States flag, where it originated from, the inspiration that surrounds the flag, and of course, some interesting facts about how to display the American flag. And thank you all for watching, and have a good day. Thank you.